What's going on, guys? This is right here, and as you can see right here, the YouTuber challenge has been released. This challenge seems really cool. As you can see, the rewards are actually really nice here. As you can see, by the time we get up to that 12 win, we also get ourselves a legendary chest, guys. That reward is super good. Hopefully I can get myself to that 12 win as well. But first, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at each of the 10 decks that the YouTubers have submitted for this challenge. Alright guys, so here are the 10 decks that the YouTubers have submitted. As you can see, I can very easily group these 10 decks into 3 different categories. The first category is going to be the beatdown decks, and there are 4 of the beatdown decks. The second category of decks is the graveyard deck, and there are 3 graveyard decks that have been submitted. And the last category, I guess, is just going to be the miscellaneous category. These are just 3 random decks that 3 other YouTubers have also submitted. So without further ado, guys, here are the 10 decks. There are a very wide variety that you can choose from, but without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get into the deck analysis. Alright guys, so hopping into the first deck archetype, we have the beatdown archetype, and as you can see, there are 4 beatdown decks. So first, we're going to go over the 2 Golem Beatdown decks. Obviously, with the Golem Beatdown deck, you want to play a bit more passive in the first 2 minutes of the battle, and you want to make positive elixir trades with your elixir collector and your goblin hut. And after double elixir or even in overtime, you want to make 1 or 2 massive pushes that would just completely overwhelm your opponent and grab yourself the win. And as you can see here, there's also a giant beatdown deck. Now with the giant, it's obviously a much cheaper tank, so you can afford to play a bit more aggressive during single elixir time. But again, this deck really does shine in double elixir. There's also a bit of a bait element in this deck as well, so you can definitely use that to your advantage if you often play bait normally. Alright, last but not least, we have this Lava Hound deck right here. Now, I don't really know if I agree with this Lava Hound deck. I honestly think it's the worst deck out of the 10. Anyways, again, with the Lava Hound, you can afford to play a bit more aggressively during single elixir time. But if you do match up against this 3 Musketeer deck, unless like your opponent completely screws up, I feel like you're just gonna get completely hard counters. So I definitely wouldn't recommend using this deck at all in the challenge. But if you're like an absolute Lava Hound god, then just by all means go ahead and use this deck. Alright, so next up we have 3 graveyard decks. Now they're all really similar in playstyle, so I'm just going to explain them once. So the point of this graveyard deck is obviously to have a tank, no matter how small of hit points, to tank for the graveyard while the graveyard attacks the tower. In this deck, as you can see, we have, for example, the bowler. For this deck, we have the Ice Golem, Royal Ghost, Cannon Cart, and Ice Wizard. And obviously, again, those glass tanks or tanks will tank for the graveyard, which will destroy the tower. In addition, you have poison as well as tornado to do most of your crowd control. In addition, tornado works really well with cards such as Ice Wizard as well as bowler and baby dragon. So if you guys normally do play graveyard, then I definitely recommend picking one of these 3 decks. Alright, last but not least, we have the 3 miscellaneous decks right here. So as you can see here, we've got a 3 Musketeer deck, we've got a Minor Skeleton Barrel control deck, and we also have a Hog Cycle deck. So let's go over the 3 Musketeer deck first. So obviously, with 3 Musketeers, you want to go ahead and try and cycle pumps as much as possible, and then double lane pressure in double elixir time with those 3 Musketeers. In addition, you also have a bait element in this deck as well, the Minor Goblin Gang and Minion Horde. So this deck is really well balanced and is actually quite popular in the current meta. You've probably played against it a few times. Alright, so the next deck I'm going to go over is probably my favorite deck in the whole challenge. It is this Minor Skeleton Barrel control deck. Now this deck is supposed to use your Goblin Hunt to constantly pressure the opponent's arena tower, and then obviously use the Skeleton Barrel Minor combination to destroy the arena tower and just constantly chip away at it. In addition, it also has really strong defensive capabilities with the Inferno Dragon, Zappies, as well as Mega Knight. Alright, last but not least, we have this Hog Cycle deck right here. 3.0 average elixir. It cycles insanely quickly. Now, the thing about this deck is all the cards in it are relatively low arena. This is probably a deck you'd see some use at about like 2200, 2300 trophies. And that is good because this deck is really easy to learn. All the cards are from lower arenas and you're probably all really familiar to these cards. Again, the point of a Hog Cycle deck is to constantly cycle your hog to the tower, get 1 or 2 chip shots on the tower each time, and then go ahead, use your Inferno Tower and Fireball to do a lot of the defending. Obviously, Inferno Tower is going to be your main tank destroyer. Knight Archers and Bats are all really solid on defense, and yeah, this is a really well-rounded deck that's actually surprisingly simple and easy to play. Alright guys, so that is all I have time for in today's video. Hopefully these deck breakdowns really helped you out in the challenge. Hopefully I can post a video tomorrow featuring me getting the 12 wins in the challenge. But unfortunately guys, that is all I have time for in today's video. If you enjoyed, please like down below as well as a subscription to my channel. And as always, this is Legendaray, and I'm signing off. See you guys next time.